listen to me. Slide. Listen to me. Listen to me! I've heard myself saying this phrase several times in my life. I've said it quietly to my spouse when I want his undivided attention. I've said it to my friends and coworkers when I would like to get my point across. I've yelled it at my children when they continue to play instead of doing something that I have nicely requested. But until I took the class Studies in Interpersonal Communication at Liberty University, I never realized that the people in my life should be saying this to me. In his article, Guide to Interpersonal Communication, Arthur Lino Ramirez states that effective listening is important because it helps in maintaining and improving relationships, leading to greater professional and personal success. Slide. For this assignment, I was asked to construct an overreaching goal for my life, specifically in the area of interpersonal communication. My goal is, I want to increase my listening level. Madeline Burley Allen uses 3 general levels of listening. Level 3 is listening in spurts. A person using this level of listening tunes in and out, and the focus is typically on themselves. This is where I tend to fall when I'm listening. A person using level 2 will hear the words, but they're not really listening. The listener will even display signs that they're listening, which will encourage the speaker to continue, but the listener misses the entire intent of the message. Finally, level 1 listening is empathetic listening. The overall focus of the listener is to listen from the heart, which opens the doorway to understanding, caring, and empathy. I want to be a level 1 listener. Slide. Today I'm going to cover enlarging the conversation, my background and behavioral blend, potential barriers to my listening skills, solutions to reducing noise pollution, and a plan of action. Each relationship we will enter will have different dynamics, but our underlying goal as human beings should be to build strong relationships. One way to do this is by enlarging our conversations. Slide. Enlarging our conversation means that we communicate clearly with others. As John Stewart points out, communication is definitely a way to express ideas, get things done, and entertain, convince, and persuade others. But it's also more than that. It's the process that defines who we are. Human beings are social creatures, and interpersonal communication is one thing that sets us apart from the animals. Slide. In an article written in 1926, W.P. Dreyer listed the characteristics of a good adult conversationalist. While I will admit the article is obviously dated, the information is still as applicable over 85 years later. According to Dreyer, a person skilled in conversation should be well read in both the masterpieces and in current writings. They should be knowledgeable about natural science, history, political science, and art. They should be open-minded. They should be eager to learn and willing to exchange experiences. They should know how to ask a question, know when to listen, be able to adapt to new situations, have a good command of words, and be able to use clean and pleasing enunciation. The way we communicate is not something that just happens overnight. Burley Allen points out that our communication skill has to do with childhood experiences, formal training, psychological limitations, and socialized attitudes. Slide. So, what makes me unique? I'm Caucasian, I'm a female, I'm obese, I grew up in poverty, I'm the oldest of 3 children, and I'm educated. The positive influences that I've had in my life: I had a strong Christian mother, we had strong family values, and a strong center of family support. When you are barely making it from paycheck to paycheck, you rely on each other for a lot of things. And I'm very intelligent thanks to the educational background that I've gathered over the years. But the negative influences were lots of yelling and anger in our home as I was growing up. I faced a lot of discrimination and teasing directly linked to my weight. I'm very controlling. I seek approval, and I really have no clear goal in my life. In the introduction to his book, How to Solve the People Puzzle, Dr. Mel's Carbonell states that understanding personality patterns is one of the keys to improving your relationships. Slide. Using Hippocrates' 4-temperament model of human behavior as a template, Carbonell presents 4 basic personality types that merge to make up each person's behavioral blend. Carbonell calls his model the DISC, or D-I-C-S, personality model. The components are: D personalities are dominant, directing, and decisive. I's are influencing, interactive, and inspiring. S's are stable, security-oriented, and shy, and C's are cautious, compliant, and careful. Dr. Carbonell says that our personalities are shaped by two perspectives, public and private. Slide. The public perspective is labeled, this is expected of me. This is the way we behave in a work environment, away from home, and what you believe others expect from you. The private perspective is labeled, this is me, in a home environment, among your friends, your family, the real you. Slide. My this expected of me is a C/D, which means I am dominant, competent, task-oriented, concerned with completing a task and doing it well. I'm seen as the one in charge, I'm detail-oriented, and I'm logical. The real me, or this is me, is a C/I/S. I have strong people skills. I can be outgoing or reserved depending on the environment that I'm in. I can be the life of the party. I'm friendly. I'm inspiring. My emotions go up and down, and I'm good at avoiding conflicts. Slide. The positive things that have resulted because of my personal blend are that I'm the perfect worker when a job has to get done and be done well. I like juggling several jobs at once, and I logically think things through and can be quite persuasive. I'm good at caring, thinking, and problem solving, and I show friendliness and kindness, but I do think in depth, and I do not like shallow research. The negative behavioral influences, which are barriers to me becoming a good listener, are that I focus, slide, on tasks more than relationships, so I need to work to focus more on people and less on getting the job done. I often act cold and unresponsive, so I need to work on showing my emotions. I need to relax more. I need to stop stressing out over the tiny little details of every project I'm involved in. I overuse my analytical skills. I don't have to figure everything out. I can ask and then allow others to help me solve the problems. I can think too much or too long about solving it, and I can allow my emotions to control me. So I need to work to realize that I can actually control my emotions instead of letting them control me. Now that we've identified possible barriers and some solutions, it's time to talk about noise pollution. Slide. Noise pollution in conversation is anything that distracts from the conversation. Burley Allen says that it can be both internal and external. Some of the internal ones are power struggle, the idea that only the person speaking has the power. Hearing what we want to hear, using biased listening, where we form opinions about the message before it's unimportant, it's too boring, it's too complex, or it's nothing new that I need to be worried about. We anxiously pass the time while we're waiting for the person to get to their point. External noise pollution is the temperature of the room, not being able to hear the speaker, loud noises, faulty acoustics. Slide. Some solutions to both types are that we need to realize that both the speaker and the listener have power. Peterson says we must acknowledge the speaker and indicate it's okay for them to think or feel the way that they are. We should ask clarifying questions, repeating the main idea back to the speaker. Peterson says that an effective listening skill is to repeat the last few words of the speaker exactly the way they said it. Work hard to determine any words that cause knee-jerk reactions in me that automatically trigger my biases. I need to be aware of my surroundings before beginning a conversation and try to control as many external variables as I can. Slide. Now that we've discussed what makes me unique and some influences, it's time to talk about how I'm going to move from level 3 to level 1. Burley Allen provides several methods for improving listening skills. Due to time constraints, I'm going to highlight 4 things that are going to become a focus for me. I'm going to work at listening. Practice makes perfect. I'm going to resist external distractions. I will concentrate on concentrating instead of allowing the noises to distract me. I'm going to keep an open mind and ask clarifying questions. I'm going to evaluate the content and not worry about the speaker's delivery. Peterson suggests that in order to be an effective leader, one must own their feelings. I want to be able to share a strong emotion, but immediately get back to the person and not me. And I'm going to implement Peterson's TLC, or talking listening card, in our home. Slide. Today we've talked about enlarging the conversation, my background in personal behavior blend, potential barriers to my listening skills, solutions to reducing noise pollution, and a plan of action. I'm going to work at moving from that level 2 or level 3 to the level 1 listener. Thank you.